Hello students, this is Coach Holliday, and today's lesson we're looking at the laws of exponents. This will be the first of 3 lessons on exponents, as there's a total of 7 rules we're going to look at. Today we're going to look at the first 2 of these. The first one's on multiplication, the second one's on division. So if you go ahead and take out your notes and turn to 4-6, which is the first one in this notes packet, and let's get started. Okay, let's look at if I have this number 2 and I raise that 2 to the 4th power. Let's just quickly review what that means. What that means is 2 multiplied by itself 4 times. So I do 2 times 2, which would be 4, times 2, which would be 8, times 2, so that whole thing is going to be 16. 2 times 2 times 2 times 2. Alright, well when we're looking at multiplying bases with exponents, we have a rule for this. Alright, so the example is we're going to look at if I had 2 to the 4 and I wanted to multiply that by 2 to the 3rd, so it's got the same base. If you'll remember, 2 to the 4th we just talked about is 2 times 2 times 2 times 2. That'd be times 2 to the 3rd is 2 times 2 times 2. Well, if I condense that back down together, 2 is my base, and I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 of these multiplied, so I multiply it by 7. So then I want to ask myself, how do I get this 7 from the 4 and the 3? And the way I get that 7 is just to add them. Alright, so we're going to remember that when we write our rule. So when multiplying, if they have the same base, we simply add the exponents. So if I have a to the m times a to the n, that's just going to be a to the m plus n. And that's our rule. So let's look at a couple of examples. Alright, the first example, m to the 4th times m to the 2nd. So I have 4 m's times 2 more m's. So those 2 m's came from m to the 2nd. Those 4 came from m to the 4th. When I put them back together, I have m as my base, and there's 6 of them. So m to the 6 is my answer. If I use my rule, I would make it m to the 4 plus 2, which is m to the 6th. So m to the 6 is my rule. Right, take just a quick second and see if you can do the second example on your own, then unpause the video and check your answer. Okay, in this one we have x to the negative 3rd times x to the 4th times x. So what we do is we add those exponents. So I take negative 3 plus 4 plus 1. Remember, this x, if it doesn't have an exponent, we just put a 1 there. So negative 3 plus 4 plus 1 gives me to the 2nd. So I get x to the 2nd. Negative 3 plus 4 is 1, plus 1 is 2. Alright, hopefully you did well on that. Let's look at this third example now. Now if you notice, there's different things put together. I'm going to combine the things that go together. So like this negative 2 is called my coefficient, because that's the number multiplied by the variables. And that 7 is called my coefficient. Alright, I'm going to put the x parts, I'm going to put those together, and then I'm going to put the y parts together. And remember, on this y, if there's no exponent, I'm just going to put a 1 there. So I'm going to rewrite this. I'm going to put negative 2 times 7. Since this is all multiplication, remember multiplication is commutative, so I can change the order. So I'm going to put the parts together that go together. Times x to the 13th times x to the 3rd, and then I'm going to put the y's together last, y to the 2nd times y. Alright, well negative 2 times 7, that's just negative 14. X to the 13 times x to the 3rd, remember, add those exponents, 13 and 3, and I get 16. And the last one is the y part, y to the 2nd times y to the 1st is y to the 2 plus 1, which is y to the 3rd. And there is my simplified expression. Okay? So that's multiplication. Now we're going to look at the second type of law we have with the exponents, and that's going to be division. Alright, so let's look at this example to start out with. If I have 2 to the 5th, remember that means 2 times itself 5 times. So 2 times 2 times 2 times 2 times 2. Alright, over, so 2 to the 5th over 2 to the 2nd. 2 to the 2nd just means 2 times 2. Now if you remember, we can, anything I have on the top of a fraction and the bottom, we can go ahead and cancel out. So I'll have a 2, and that 2 will cancel. A 2, and that 2 will cancel. So what do I have left? Well, on the top I have 3 2's. I just have 2, and there's 3 of them, so I'm going to raise that to the 3rd power. So how do I get that 3 from that 5 and that 2? Well, I could rewrite that as 2 to the 5 minus 2. And that's what I do when I am dividing the same base. I subtract the exponents, alright? So my rule is, when dividing, if they have the same base, you simply subtract the exponents. Okay, so the rule would be a to the m divided by a to the n would be a to the m minus n. Subtract those exponents. Okay, so let's look at a couple of examples. Alright, so in this rule I have 5 x's, so let's do it the long way first, or expand it out. So I have 5 x's on top, 2 x's on bottom. I'm going to cancel out that x and that x, that x and that x. So what do I have left? I have x to the 3rd on top. Or if I use the rule we just came up with, we do x to the 5 subtract 2, which is x to the 3rd. So x to the 3rd is my answer for that first one. Okay? Go ahead and give the second one a try if you can. The only thing that might be a little different is you're going to have to just reduce those coefficient numbers. So see if you can figure this one out. Pause the video, give it a try, and then come back to the video and we'll see how you did. Okay, so you should have gotten 1m to the 3rd over 4, or just m to the 3rd over 4. And the way we get that, we expand the top. It's 3 times 5 m's over 12 times 2 m's. Well, 3 over 12, that's going to reduce to 1 over 4. And then I'm going to cancel out 2 m's from the top and bottom. So I have m to the 3rd, and that's in the top. So I'll write m to the 3rd. So that's the way that one worked. Okay? Alright, now the same thing with the third example. Go ahead and give that a try on your own. Pause the video and then turn the video back on when you're ready to check. Okay, so in this one, we've taken the 10 over 5. 10 divided by 5 is 2. Then I have my x's, x to the 5 over x to the 2. I do x to the 5 minus 2. And then my y to the 6th over y to the 2. I have y to the 6 minus 2. So x to the 5 minus 2 is x to the 3rd. And y to the 6 minus 2 is y to the 4th. Okay? Alright, hopefully you did well on that. Go ahead and complete your whisk. We'll do some problems on this in class, a little activity. And come to class prepared. And we'll see you then.